Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vish, and today we're going to talk, sadly, about the worst books I read in 2021. Well, worst and disappointing books. Because it's really hard for me to hate books or also just dislike them. But there are a few that I have read that absolutely just invoked anger in me, which we will talk about. But there are also some books that I expected more from them, but they kind of disappointed me. So we'll talk about them as well. So we'll talk about 3 disappointing books and about 6 worst books. And obviously I'm just going to preface this, just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that you shouldn't like it. I mean, if it is your favorite, then I apologize, but it is what it is. But if you like people shitting on your favorite books, then welcome. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So let's just jump into the disappointing books, and the first one is already a doozy because it is so many people's favorites, but I just thought it was okay, meh, and also very disappointing, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I know, whoa! I'm sorry, Abby, and multiple different people. Yeah, I just thought it was okay. I think I gave this 3 stars, which I think is very fitting. So the whole premise of this is that we have Addie, our main character. She wants to get out of this forced marriage, and she makes a deal with this dark force, which is essentially the devil, and he makes her immortal. But whoever meets her will forget her immediately after leaving the room, and it's kind of a lonely life that she has to lead. Except one day, someone remembers her. And I like the premise of this. I really like the themes of this book, and I definitely can relate to the loneliness that Addie feels. I feel like if I reread it, I can relate way more with the loneliness feeling right now, and how no matter what kind of mark you make in the world, people kind of still forget you. It's a whole thing, and this, I will say, it explores that very well, but there was a few things that I was just like, whatever. So first thing with the writing, everyone says that her writing is very beautiful, but in this I just thought it was simplistic. For me, beautiful is Laini Taylor. Like, no one can match up with Laini Taylor, and I just thought her writing was okay. It's very simplistic. It did the job. And with Addie being 300 years old, she was very, very immature, and I did not like that. And another thing with, you know, being 300 years old, she traveled to a lot of places, but we only get to see England, France, and New York, I believe. And that's pretty much it. I thought we would, you know, get many different settings because there's a 300-year timeline in this, and I thought we would get more, but we didn't, which is fine because you're focusing on Addie and her story, but I wanted more of that. And coming back to Addie being 300 years old and acting very immature, I really thought she would have more wisdom. This just did not live up to what I thought it was going to be, but I still kept the book because, one, it's the Illumicrate version. It's very beautiful, and I might one day revisit this. Maybe it might change my mind, but for the foreseeable future, it's going to be an okay 3 stars. Next up is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Another book that a lot of people's favorites. Again, so sorry, Abby. So anyway, People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This was very disappointing to me because I expected more chemistry between these two. I did not like both characters. I felt they were extreme in their personalities. So Poppy is like a very happy-go-lucky person, and she was very extreme to the point of annoying. And the other main character, I forget his name, I think his name is Alex, and he's like a grump, but like an extreme version of that. Like, he hates everything. I didn't like those 2 characters. I didn't like the chemistry together, which made me really think if I really like Friends to Lovers. But I recently read Radiance by Grace Draven, and that just restored faith. But with this, I did not like it. I didn't think the stakes of the conflict that happened in this book wasn't high enough to warrant the conflict. That's just in my opinion. But yeah, just overall, it was just very disappointing because a lot of people loved it, and I did not. Next book is kind of the same reason. I know that a lot of people loved it, and the premise sounds really good, but I, in the end, just thought it was a disappointment, and that is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is a fantasy romance, I will say, and I talked about this book a lot recently, so I'll just keep it brief. That is, I don't like the type of fae that was in this book. It's very like Cruel Prince type of fae. not a fan. I like the whole immortal warrior type of fae. I did not like the characters. I felt they were lackluster. Again, didn't vibe with the chemistry. When it comes to romance, character chemistry is very important to me, and if I don't vibe with them, I don't like the whole thing. So that's essentially what happened in this as well. So with those 3 books, I will say that they're not bad books. It just didn't work for me. So if it worked for you, I'm glad they did. It just didn't work for me. So with that out of the way, let's get into the worst books. From the 6 on the list, I only have 1 physically because everything else has been unhauled. So alright, so the first book I want to talk about is Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the 3rd book in the From Blood and Ash series, and also main character called Poppy, another annoying Poppy. She asks so many questions. Anyway, the first part of the book was really great, really well paced, but then the middle of the book was absolutely a drag and a lot of info dumping, and the way the info was dumped is through Poppy and her very, very annoying questions. And she would ask the same one over and over again, and when she's given an answer, she takes that as the truth, but then when she asks it again after something happened, turns out what was said was not the truth. So with that in mind, a lot of the info that was dumped, a lot of it was irrelevant and the rest of it was relevant. Because there was so much, I, for the life of you, cannot remember any of them because there was just so much. And the ending of the book was done really well, and the Poppy at the end of the book is the Poppy that I was looking for since the 2nd book. She finally made an appearance, and 100% guaranteed she's gonna disappear in like the next book. I don't know if I want to continue the series, if I've given up in the series. I'm still trying to decide, so we shall see. But I absolutely did not like this book. I think I gave it 3 stars at the time, but I'm gonna push it down to 2. Next up is Normal People by Sally Rooney. So this is another book where it's a me thing and not the book thing. So in this book, you follow 2 characters from high school to adulthood, and it's about their romance or their story. I liked Sally Rooney's writing, but the one thing that I didn't like about this book, and it's majority of the book, is miscommunication. I understand that some people can't express their emotions to another person because, you know, they're scared to leave, or they're protecting the person, or it's too difficult to express an emotion, whatever. I get it. I try to stay away from those books because I do not like miscommunication. I'm a very direct person. If I have a problem, we will be talking about it. It will be eating away at my brain forever if I don't talk about it, so we're gonna talk about it. So that was my main issue with this book, and I didn't enjoy. I actually read this for uni, surprisingly. If not, I don't know if I would pick it up, but after a long time of sitting with that, I feel like I might give Sally Rooney a second chance with her other books, maybe. If you've read Sally Rooney, do you think it's different from Normal People? Please let me know in the comments, because obviously I don't want to pick up another book where there is kind of miscommunication and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna enjoy it. So I just want to know. So let me know in the comments. The 3rd book I want to talk about is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This is a sci-fi thriller, and in my opinion, there was no thrilling aspect about this. So there is a thriller element or a mystery element starting from the beginning of the book, and you slowly find out what it is. But in the beginning, there was this whole monologue about a topic, and from then on I figured out what the book was, and then it became absolutely predictable, and I did not enjoy my time because Jason was not a likable character at all. The way he spoke about his wife and the way he tries to express his love for his wife is very sexual in nature and not emotion, because obviously if you've been with, you know, the woman who you say it's the love of your life, you would have other words to say other than she's sexy and her lips are voluptuous, and that's all he would talk about, and nothing to do with emotions and how she made him feel. Only sexual emotions. That's all he would talk about, and I didn't like that. I just didn't like Jason. I think that's his name. I don't know how I'm remembering Jason, but that's what I think his name is. Anyway, the main character, I did not like him, and with the combination of the plot being very predictable, I just thought it was okay. And this was a Shell Space pick last year, and I think majority of the people did not enjoy it as much as they thought they would. I think, I'm not too sure. I still want to try Blake Crouch's other book, Recursion. I've heard it's kind of similar, so I don't know if I want to, but I know he's writing another book. Maybe I'll give that a try. We'll see. But yeah, overall, Dark Matter was just not a good time. Next up is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. God, I did not like the twist in this. That was my main reason. The setting was atmospheric, the writing was good, the pace was fine. The main character, I think her name's Mariana, did not like her because she was so naive and dumb at the same time who the killer is in the beginning. I did not predict the twist at the end, which is in itself wild and unimaginable. And I kind of get it. It's this whole theme of Greek tragedy, and I get what he was trying to do, but I just didn't like the twist at the end. It made me kind of uncomfortable. It's fine, whatever. I just had a good time because it was a fast read, but I just didn't think it was good overall compared to The Silent Patient, which was very structured and very well told, and the twist was also really well done. The second last book I want to talk about is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This is the second book to the Serpent and Dove series. I talked about this a lot recently because I only read it at the end of the year. Basically, it is a glorified filler book. The characters in this were not themselves. There was angst when there shouldn't be angst. There was a lot of miscommunication where there shouldn't be miscommunication because they were very communicative in the first book. So I don't know why they didn't communicate here. There's no reason. More of the magic was explored in here, which I really liked. But everything else, it was just okay. It was a very fast read as well. I think I read the first book in like 24 hours and this one in a couple of days. It was a very, very fast read. And I do want to finish the series because there was an element in this that was very interesting that will play in the third book, and I hope it will be better because this is not it. And the last book I want to talk about, which is the worst book I read in 2021, and that is Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. I'm just gonna say this book should just not exist at all because it's one of those books where everything would be solved in page 50 instead of the end. I just didn't see a point in this book because of that reason. It would have ended in page 50 if one character just did what she had to do instead of the end. I did not like this. I did not enjoy the writing. I did not enjoy the characters. There were kids in this that were wannabe Stranger Things characters. Did not like them. Didn't like our two main characters because they were so unbelievably dumb. And this book is a short book. It dragged on for so long because they were just trying to travel from place A to place B, but there were so many obstacles in between, and I felt it was very dragged on. And I think I gave this 2 stars, but I might just put it as 1 star. And the only book I've ever given 1 star is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo from the Shadow and Bone series. So this is going to join Siege and Storm in the corner of shame. Okay, so those are the books. I feel very weird because I don't like to talk about books that I didn't like. I don't know why. I just don't like to talk about them. But because I made a best books, I should talk about the worst books because maybe one of you would like the book more than I did. So I hope you found some positivity in this and also some laughter in this. Let me know down in the comments if you've hated any of these books as well. Let me know what was your most hated or disappointed books that you've read in 2021 in the comments down below. I would love to know. And if you made it to the end of the video, put the sad face emoji. Any of the sad face emoji that you want, really. Because we just want to strive to read 5-star books. Every time we pick up a book, all we want is a 5-star. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. All my socials are linked down below for you to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!